Welcome to Saudi Life Unpacked. I'm Frankie.
And I'm Lily. We are here to demystify the desert and explore the vibrant and dynamic experiences of expats living in the kingdom. Today we have Alice Morrison, an explorer, an adventurer, journalist, and you've cycled across Africa.
Mm-hmm.
You've run across the Sahara. But today we're here talking about what you've just completed, which is walking across Saudi Arabia, which saying it right now seems ridiculous to me, but you have literally, like I'm sitting here and you have literally just walked into the hotel Mandarin Oriental where we are sitting today.
Yes.
And you've just walked in like I'm here arriving for the first time.
Well, I am. I mean, I spent last night in a tent in the desert, going to the bathroom behind a bush. And then I've arrived at the beautiful Mandarin Oriental Hotel, which is gorgeous. And I'm, of course, dressed like Alice of Arabia.
I love it.
Because I'm wearing my expedition clothes. So I'm wearing leggings and a sports top, and then I'm wearing a robe over the top, and then a shesh, a headscarf, and a cap.
Yeah.
So
You're looking the part.
Well, I am looking the part, but I look as though I'm faking it because it's so weird. It's so incongruous. But actually, this is actually what I wore. Look at any of the pictures from the journey.
Yeah. And how does it feel to kind of come back to kind of cosmopolitan Riyadh after being, like you said, sleeping in the desert last night and it's phenomenal.
It's very strange. I mean, there's definitely culture shock situation going on, but it's lovely. I mean, I am looking, heated toilet seats. Say no more. I mean, this is what I'm looking forward to. No, it's wonderful to be here. And I think you should enjoy every part of life. So I've just spent quite a lot of time living in a very, very simple way. And now I've got a couple of days of gorgeous luxury here and I'm just going to enjoy every moment.
Lean into it.
Leaning horizontally into it. I might fall off the boat.
But before we kind of get into the questions, I have to say what a joy it was for me researching you because I got to listen to your podcast. And it's such an interesting way that you've done it with Vic, is it?
Vic.
Yeah,
Alice in Wonderland with an A.
So he's Vic. In Europe, and I felt like every time you had an episode, it was him basically calling you up to check in on at what stage your journey is, or even the what is involved with even working out how you start this kind of journey. So we really get that full picture of what's involved in it. So I just have to say I did love that.
Well, I love it. I think it's really fun. And also, it's like, I mean, Vic is a friend. We've never met in real life, but we've had all these episodes of the podcast. And, I do feel we're invested in each other and he's definitely invested in the adventure and he does the podcast with me as his kind of pro bono. I'm his he believes in supporting women in adventure. So that's why he does it, which I think is really cool.
Yeah. And a podcast is really about storytelling and you guys have really cracked that nut of storytelling between you two. And so I just, it was a really easy and wonderful
fun.
listen.
I'm so glad.
But first, where does this desire come from? Where is the desire to walk across Saudi Arabia? I know that obviously you've done other past adventures, but I did note that you are Scottish but you didn't grow up in Scotland, and your expat parents, we might call them, gifted you a book when you were 11.
Yeah. So there were two reasons. So let me talk about the book first. So when I was 11, my dad gave me a copy of Wilfred Thesiger's Arabian Sands. And that is Wilfred Thesiger's story. I think in the 50s, he crossed the empty quarter with his Bedouin companions by camel. They almost died. He did several crossings, but my memory of it. So I got given this book by my dad, and Wilfred Thesiger is a brilliant writer, and he wrote about the beauty of the desert and the harshness and the hardship and the kind of glory of doing something with other people and the bravery. You have to be brave. Yeah. And these men, I still remember the pictures of the beautiful Bedouin boys with their wild hair and their just their fierceness. And it really spoke to me and it stayed with me. And I'm now 62. So it's taken me 50 years. I mean, of course, I'm not emulating his feat, but so that brings me to the second part. So Saudi was in my mind. I studied Arabic at university and Islam. And of course, Saudi Arabia is the center of that. It's the center of the Arab world. I've always wanted to come, and it started to open up kind of, I would say in COVID, I started to think, I'm thinking I can start to go now. And then it brings me to the second part, which is I am an adventurer and I am a writer. And I was looking for a big thing to do that would capture other people's imaginations.
Yeah.
And I worked towards this. First of all, I thought I would do Jerusalem to Mecca. And I was like, well, no, don't waste. Saudi's so difficult. Don't waste it by only doing a part.
Yeah.
And I was looking around and lots of people have done east to west. But I was like, north to south, and I couldn't find any records in English or Arabic or French of anyone walking it. Walking, crossing, there's loads of crossings, but walking is different. And what made me think that it would be a world first, because it's quite important to be clear about this, is that there are large stretches without water.
Okay.
So everyone needs either a camels or a pickup truck, to get across those stretches, because you need them to carry the water, because you need 4 litres of water a day in the hot parts. Say you could even do it on 2 litres is 2 kilograms. So you could realistically, if you carried 4 days of water, I mean, very unlikely you would do that. And if you did it, it would only be as a challenge.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, and a challenge would be recorded. And we're doing it since the beginning of Saudi Arabia, which is 1932. So that takes out all the slaves, soldiers, merchants. My logic is that, and I really do, especially now that I've done it, I know this. If you had a camel or a truck, there are sections where you would use them.
Yeah.
There is absolutely no point in walking the whole length of it unless you're doing it as I was for a very specific purpose. And then it would be recorded. Yeah. Because if you were doing it in the normal course of things, which you probably wouldn't be, you'd be doing bits of it. We went around lots and lots of different parts of paths that people would use. But if you were doing it in the normal course of things, you would not walk every step.
And we were saying before, like you just said, like you couldn't carry 4 days of food, but how many days did it take you to do with the camels?
The expedition took 112 days. Wow. It is 2,195 kilometers. All the Garmin tracks are going up on my website. Stage 1's already up there. So you can, if you want to emulate any of it, or if you just want to check it out, do please.
Is that's 25 kilometers a day?
I say we did half a marathon a day. Basically.
Ridiculous.
So this year I've done something like over 100 half marathons.
Which is, the fact that you even walked in here and weren't in a wheelchair coming into that was impressive in itself.
At least I didn't have to run them. We did it in 2 stages. So we started on January the 1st and went from Halat Ammar on the Jordan border to Medina. And then we stopped at the Prophet's Mosque on Friday prayer outside the Prophet's Mosque. It was really special. So special. Wow. I felt quite blessed, actually. Yeah. And then started again on the 10th. Let me get this right. Did I start on the 10th of October? I think I did.
You'd be forgiven for being slightly...
10th of October, and then walked until the 15th of December. So I finished on Monday.
Wow. That's, I'm still taking it all in, to be honest. I mean, it's so impressive. So you are an experienced journalist, as we know. You've had some amazing documentaries on BBC, and you've done your own work as well. One thing that I've noticed coming here is how amazing the stories are. And I've just literally been in the little bubble of Riyadh or visited Jeddah. I can only imagine the types of people that you've met on your journey and their stories, and uncovering them, I'm sure, was part of the passion to do this as well. Is there any story in particular that you just think, oh, wow, I'm so thrilled that I did this journey and met that person? Or there
really are lots. Yeah. I'm going to tell you.
I know you're right. You are writing a book.
I am writing a book, but it's not coming out for a while. So I think, let me tell you one of the funny ones first. So we're walking along, I'm walking. I have a wonderful team, and maybe after this I could tell you about them. Yes. So I'm walking along, and a Bedouin man comes up. He's about my age, but he probably looks a bit older. He's got a big white beard, no teeth. And he screeches up in his pickup, stops. He and Shai are chatting. They talk about which tribes they're from. And I say, I'm from the tribe Morrison. And I speak Arabic, so of course I know what's going on. And then he just says to Shai, he says, this one, she likes camels. She likes the desert. Just leave her with me. I'll marry her.
Oh, wow. Marriage proposal.
It's like...
How do you politely decline?
Well, no, Shia declined for me. That's the great... And afterwards I said to Shia, look, I'm really not that fussy, honestly.
And he obviously isn't that fussy. Yeah. You like the desert, you like camels.
Well, I said, Shia, I've got one condition, really, that has to be fulfilled, but that is that the gentleman has teeth.
Yes. And unfortunately, On
No.
this occasion, you don't.
That had to be done. So that was
Oh, what a great
fun.
story.
I know.
Oh, no, well, you touched on your team before.
Yeah.
And I mean, two pivotal parts of your team were the camels. And their names were, was it
Juicy and Lulu.
Juicy and Lulu, which I learnt were Saudi names, which
Well,
I had no idea of.
Lulu is the Saudi name, and
Okay.
Juicy was the result of some confusion, but we love the name Juicy.
It's gorgeous.
I know. So, and Juicy was quite big and chunky. She was quite juicy.
Yeah.
So it worked really well.
Yeah. And then who else, apart from your fairy friends, were
with me.
With you.
So Juicy and Lulu were in fact my emotional support camels
Yeah.
because
And I will touch on that later because I'm just thinking, how do you walk by yourself? But go on.
they didn't need to carry anything. They
Okay.
were along for the ride, and they did try and make breakaways. Lulu got blisters. I mean, we had quite a lot of issues with our camels that we had to look after.
Yeah.
But my team. So the team were absolutely amazing. So I am the first person to walk across Saudi Arabia. And that is a real huge personal goal and achievement. And it is only made possible by this team. And the second person who came in just behind me, the first man, the first Saudi and the first Arab, is Shaya Al-Shaya, who was a team member and walked loads of time with me. You know, the nature of walking is you're sometimes together, sometimes not.
Yeah.
But I'm so proud of him. So this is like a big celebration for both of us tonight, which I'm really looking forward to here at the hotel. And the team was from Mad Adventures, a Saudi company run by Khalid Arabia. And it was on the second stage, it was me, Shaya, Khalid. And then we had a camelteer called Abu Ahmed from Sudan, who was brilliant and who's like really famous in the camel world.
Okay.
He like has a huge following on Snap because he's known for his excellent care of camels.
I also, as a side note, love that there's a camel world because from living in Saudi, the 2.5 years I have, like from the beauty pageants for camels to the racing to
camels, they are so important.
I've only scratched the surface, but sorry, keep going.
You must delve because camels are amazing animals, and I can talk about them quite a lot, I'm afraid.
Well, yeah.
And then Abu Siria was our cook and our support vehicle driver, and of course the vehicles, as you'll know from living here, they all had big water tanks. And water was a nightmare. At one point, I think Khalid did a 130-kilometre journey just to refill the cars.
Oh, wow.
Which brings me back to my point about
you
you
need
need something to carry your water.
Yeah.
And then Alice Morrison from Ireland was our navigator, and he planned the route and was very patient when we completely ignored the Garmin and went wandering off down wadis and
because you just needed to cover a few more kilometres.
Yeah, or we were chatting and we were like, and Alan would come screeching up an adventure car and go, "Why are you going this way?" We go, "Well, yes, let's go the correct way."
Right. Oh, well, I'm just impressed that you were able to navigate your way here. I mean, even with the Garmin or going off route.
It was a struggle.
I struggle with Google Maps. I can't even, there's no real key point of reference in a desert, is there?
Well, also I have a really poor sense of direction. Although actually the second half was very easy because we're walking south and we're walking effectively towards the sun. It was in the east, but that was our general direction. So, and the wind was always in our faces after 9:30. So you could, as a very general direction, but we needed much better directions than that. We got them from Alan.
So obviously your team was essential in the water aspect, the food aspect, the just general lugging things around. And I know that they didn't walk with you. It was sometimes they would be in the car going ahead or they'd be in the car navigating.
Or they'd be walking with me. So Shaya and I did a lot of walking together, and also Abu Ahmed and the camels and I did a lot of walking. Yeah. And, sometimes I would be like with both the guys, it would be the three of us, and we'd be like the three musketeers and the two camels, chatting and laughing and exchanging stories and just being really silly.
Well, because that was one of my questions is before you've obviously told me that, is why, like, how do you handle that with your mental health in that solidarity and not having someone to talk to the whole time? But you had your team.
I did have my team.
Yeah.
And also for me, look, I'm here as an explorer. I want to explore Saudi. So why wouldn't I walk with a Saudi?
Yeah, 100%.
Because, I'm like, what's that tree? Which tribe? Do you know what tribe we're with? And I mean, frankly, it's great to be walking with a man as well, because then when people arrive, they can be a bit, I speak really good Arabic and I'm very, very comfortable, but it's just culturally more appropriate that there's someone else there. Often I was walking alone because it's the nature of walking. It's like swimming. You can't always be with people.
Yep.
So I'd have hours on my own, but I enjoyed those.
So is that that was a positive thing
It's a
for
meditation
you?
for me. I enjoyed those, just time to clear my head or think about things that I needed to sort out. Or sometimes, walking in a team, I loved it. And we are now a family and I love these men. They are the best men in the world.
Yeah.
But it's also, you have to compromise.
Yeah.
And things are not always going to go your way.
Yep. Yeah.
You're not always going to get your way. So sometimes I would just be walking at the back, kind of slightly fuming quietly to myself about a very small thing that annoyed me. But I think that's true of everybody. We're 112 days in each other's company.
Yeah.
And we got on really well.
Oh, that says a lot, really.
Yeah.
And that, I mean, look, as a mental approach, that's definitely something that you've got to be strong with to be able to conquer and obviously be with people all the time in your crew. But I do also want to touch on the physical issues. Oh, well, I mean, no pedicures in the middle of the desert.
I don't think any decent pedicurist would touch those feet. All my toenails are green and black.
Well, I wasn't even thinking about the toenails. I was thinking about the blisters that you've had to endure. But I did like your little hack that you mentioned on your podcast where you got in London done like a Velcro adhesion to your shoe to stop the sand. Talk us through that.
Okay, so would you like the blisters first or the gaiters first?
I don't even know both of those words.
Okay, so
the blisters or the gaiters.
Yeah,
well.
So let's start with the gaiters.
Yeah.
So the gaiters I wore almost all trips. So these are sand gaiters, and I came across these when I ran the Marathon des Sables, which is 6 marathons across the Sahara in 6 days, carrying all your own stuff. Okay. And they're like outside socks, and you Velcro them there's Velcro on your shoes, and there's Velcro on the gaiters, and then you put them over your shoes and they stop any sand coming in. They're absolutely brilliant.
And essential.
Yeah, and I don't know why people don't use them here. Anyway, Raid Light gaiters, look them up. Sand gaiters. Okay. Fantastic.
They might sponsor this episode.
Well, I wish they would. I wish they'd sponsor me. They haven't, and they're quite expensive.
This is a shout out to
shout out to Raid Light. So that was the gaiters. But on the first stage, now I've done quite a lot of things, so you would think by now I wouldn't make errors, but being human, I make lots of mistakes. On the first stage, I decided to protect my feet. I'd wear thick hiking socks.
Yes.
Thick woolen hiking socks and, just normal trainers.
It was cooler weather.
So it was cooler weather. Yeah. And that was completely the wrong thing to wear. They rubbed my feet and I got blisters on the first day. Oh. So if I were going to, I can't really describe the pain to you. I was in very, very serious pain for about 3 weeks, maybe 4. Mm-hmm. So if you can imagine, right, don't do this obviously, but imagine it. Take a razor blade, cut your foot in 5 places.
Oh my God.
Under the palm of your foot, on each heel, on each side of a heel, where the heel meets your, the bottom of your foot and maybe under one of your toes. Rub sand and salt into those wounds. Put on 2 pairs of hiking socks, put on your tightest trainers, get a hair dryer, put it on hot and blow it into your face, walk a half marathon, and then do it all again the next day. Oh, and by the way, you have to sleep in the garden, there's no toilet, and you can only use 1.5 litres for washing.
So you really inspired everyone to do exactly what you've just done.
You can follow along on my GPS tracks, anyone.
Wow. And this was on day 1 that this kind of came out.
So my blister started.
How do you get past that? I think I just would have thrown my hands in the air and said, right, that's it. I can't do 112 days of this. I'm done.
Well, no, it's a really good question. I'm going to answer it seriously.
Yeah.
So I put myself out there as an adventurer.
Yeah. So
adventurers got to adventure. You've got to suck it up. I invested so much of this. I had 3 amazing sponsors, Al Ula, Saudi Tourism, and Gymnation from Riyadh, who are really cool.
Yep.
But I had to actually sell my flat in order to fund part of the expedition. So
you'd invested a lot.
I not only a lot of money, and flat, and I worked really hard for that. Now I've used it up. So I was really invested. I told everyone I was going to do it. It was a big aim for me. I'd worked for 2 years before I got to the start line.
Yeah. It is really admirable what you've done, because
you.
I don't think that even if there are people out there that are so passionate about things, it's such a risk, or it's such a huge, sacrifice to do these things, especially in this modern city or modern life that we live. And I just think Well done you for
Oh,
doing it
thank you.
and
I
jumping off
appreciate
that
that.
bridge. And obviously it's worked out for you.
It has worked out. And I mean, you
Yeah.
know, I definitely, when I got to the end, there was relief as well as
Yeah.
elation and happiness. You know, I was very overwhelmed with emotion. I've chosen this very strange life.
Yeah.
And in some ways, I think a lot of people wouldn't enjoy my life, but I absolutely love my life. You know,
Yeah.
I live mainly in Morocco in a small village in the Amazigh community. I'm learning Tashlihi. I speak Arabic. I look out in the Atlas Mountains every day. I do adventures very mindfully. I go out and do them. I meet people. I hear their stories. I tell stories of people whose voices are not normally heard. It's a very definite thing. And I've kind of I've made my life my kind of work as well. So for me, it works really well. So I don't have any holidays or anything because, you know, I'm always doing it. But I
You
really
don't need them. If
I'm-
you're doing what you love and
I
you're passionate
do.
about it.
And believe you me, I spend the afternoons on the terrace with my cats, chocolates and Netflix. I mean,
Sounds ideal.
definitely. But I love what I get back. And what I get back is meeting so many supportive people who are really encouraging. I get to see parts of the world that really very few people have seen. And in
And
this
the people.
and the people who very few people have met. And the hospitality I met in Saudi has been unbelievable. I know you know this because you live here.
Yeah.
The kindest, nicest, best people. I have learned so much about how to treat other people. I was talking to Khalid about this, our team leader, our expedition leader, and he said that he thinks it's all about ehdram, which is respect.
Okay.
Here, the society is all about respect. It's very hierarchical, it's very patriarchal, but it is about respect. Everybody knows where they fit, and you respect the people around you in their roles, and you respect how it works. And I think that respect element, that's what I've learned from this trip. It's so important,
Yeah.
you know, and it really works. If you just stop worrying too much about yourself and think, what does this other person need? What's their role? What do they do? What are they contributing? And then you respect them for it. It makes your life a lot easier because then you also respect yourself and you're like, well, this is my role, and you see how things fit together.
I love how you said that. So it's more about like looking out rather than looking
Yeah.
in at what you need. And obviously if
Definitely.
you're walking around in a regional spot in the middle of the desert, they're thinking, what does she need? Hence the hospitality.
How can I help you?
Yeah.
The first question
Yeah.
every single Saudi person who stopped
Yeah.
asked. And they really took to it. I mean, they thought
Yeah.
the journey was hilarious.
Oh.
And I mean, they were like, you're doing what? You're walking? What, on your feet? I'm like, yes, look at my feet. They're like, oh, yeah, you are walking on your feet.
And are you speaking Arabic to them?
Yes, of course.
Yeah, of
Yeah.
course. Because
Yeah.
I was going to say I wouldn't expect them to know much English.
No, but I mean, people really thought, I mean, as you know, Saudis
Yeah.
have got an excellent sense of humour.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
So they were very tickled by this whole notion. And they were like, you've got 2 camels. Why aren't you riding them?
Oh,
They use-
this is true. I mean, this is a very obvious question. Why aren't you? Is
Well,
it you just wanted to be
Walk
walking
every
it?
step, because
Yeah.
that's the world first element.
Yeah, okay.
That really is the world first element. If I rode the camels, other people across Saudi riding camels or being partly on a camel.
Yeah.
So yeah,
I bet the temptation was there though. At
temptation
times,
was
yeah,
there.
with the blisters and
Yeah,
the bleeding feet, and
the
you
bleeding
just think,
feet.
I could just
Yeah, it was. But what used to amuse me highly is if I was with Shaya or Abu Ahmed, they would get severely told off by the people. They were like, you were let, because often I'd be leading the camels and the boys would be on their mobiles either behind or in front.
Yeah,
And I'm like stomping along with 2 great big camels. And the Bedouin men who stopped were like, you are letting this poor woman
yes. How dare you?
with the camels, and you 2 are just walking. What are you doing? She should be in the car. And they were like, yeah, we should. But
It's this crazy lady.
She said she wants to do it as a challenge. Crack me up. So that made the pain go away.
Oh, well, I do. I've loved this chat so much. My co-host obviously isn't here, which is probably ideal because Frankie, the furthest thing from what she would want to do is go camping. And she has pedicures every other day. So, but I tell you, my husband would have loved to have been here. He's read Lawrence in Arabia 4 times.
Oh, wow.
He's very much into it. So I've got a daughter who's 9, and I think, do I want to introduce the book that got you on this journey, or do I go, let's hold it back a little bit because I don't want her to be out there exploring and walking.
Why wouldn't you want this life for you? Look how happy I am.
I know, but to be honest, after listening to your story, I mean, what an adventure. And
yeah, you live once.
You do live
once. You know,
once.
at least I believe you do. And it goes quickly. And the joy and the richness I've had from this journey,
yeah,
that just... it's something it's worth it. Everything I did was worth it.
Yeah.
You know, when I was tearing my hair out trying to find sponsors and then, you know, getting support from lovely people like Jessie at the Mandarin Oriental saying, you can do it, you can do it. And then you get that little boost and you think, oh no, people are with me. And when people come with you on the journey and enjoy it through you, that's what I do it for as well. And I love that part of it.
You can hear it in when you talk about it, even on your podcast, there was a rare moment, which I think you talked about, one dire incident or, you know, a couple of issues with the blisters or whatever, but every single episode you can see you smiling as you're talking and you're so excited by it. And I just think what an amazing passion you have. This is the obvious question, right? And you probably need 5 seconds to rest, but what is next?
So what's next immediately is I want to benefit from this. So I'll be writing a book and I will hopefully be doing a TV series. So if any producers are out there listening,
shout out.
Please get in touch and let's talk.
NBC.
NBC, please get in touch and let's talk. I used to work for NBC many years ago.
Yeah.
And then in terms of adventure, the things I've got lined up is because next year I've got to do a lot of work and get some out. When I was a student at university in Edinburgh learning Arabic, I bought in a second-hand antique shop. I bought a guidebook from 1926 for Algeria and Tunisia. So what with it being 2026 next year? So what I think, I'm not doing a huge crossing countries because those take like 3 years to organise, but I'm going to take myself off to Tunisia and Algeria and I'm going to try and navigate around using the guidebook and then write about it. I think that's going to be fun, no?
Oh my God, watch this face. I'm so excited for it. I look at you, I can see it in your eyes. They're glowing up by the whole prospect of it and you haven't even planned a thing. But
no, but that'll be later in the year because I need to really get my head down and do some work, you know.
Yeah, you need to sleep on an actual bed tonight.
Yes.
You just need to have a home-cooked meal.
Yes, yes. All of those things.
Start with that.
And have a mince pie for Christmas when I go back to Scotland. I'm ready.
Okay, so you're going back to Scotland for Christmas, so you can enjoy that and then next year start thinking about the next adventure. Thank you so much, Alice.
Thank you. Thank you for your encouragement. It's been wonderful.
I love it.